Hi. So, about a week ago, I asked in a YouTube community post if anyone would be interested to see some of my champion concepts I made, and to my surprise, about 70% said yes, and I'm very happy about that. So I'm going to show you my champion concepts I made in, as of right now, 3 different videos, because I have 3 champion concepts. And, well, today I'm going to show you the first one. Just some information before this video actually starts. I have no art for any, I don't have any proper art or stuff for the abilities or champion itself, because I simply not able to create something like this, because I just can't draw. So I'm just going to show you some like things from other games, or in general art that already exists, that shows how I imagine the abilities and like how the champion would look like. And the second thing is, if you like the idea of my champions, but think, oh yeah, this is cool, this ability, but the number on this is too high or too low, it should be more like that, you can always write that in the comments. I would look forward to that very much, because I would like to see or read your opinions on my champions. And yes, so let's jump straight into the first champion concept I made. So, the first champion I've made is called Banjo, and his title is the Forsaken Forest Spirit. I'll just give you some background information to his lore, or more like background information, because I'm not creative enough for entire lore. So yeah. This is around the time with the Crystal War in Paladins, with the lore timeline stuff, so that you know which time we are in. So yeah, the magistrate was doing everything to find new crystals for more power. One day they went to the Enchanted Forest, which is connected to Greenwood, and Brightmarsh and Timbermill are around Greenwood. They went to the Enchanted Forest to find new crystals there. But in this forest, there are a lot of animals and in general a lot of beings who live there, and one of those beings is Banjo. He's one of the guardians or guards of this forest, one of the strongest. And it came to a battle, because like the magistrate tried to basically destroy the forest just to find those crystals, and the animals and beings who lived in this forest tried to defend it. So it came to a big battle. The forest got destroyed, burned down, a lot of deaths, because the magistrate simply won, because they are just stronger. And yeah, and among those killed was Banjo. And the forest, which was completely burnt down, destroyed, mobilized its last bit of hope and power to get Banjo back to existence. Now Banjo is a forsaken forest spirit full of hate against the magistrate and seeks for revenge. So this is basically Banjo's background story. For his design, it shows this picture like a bit of a ape nature style of a champion designed. Yeah. As I said, he's called Banjo, and his title is the Forsaken Forest Spirit. His affiliation is resistance, because, well, the magistrate killed him, destroyed the forest, burned it down. So he's anti-magistrate, so he's resistance. His race is like animal. He was once an animal, but now he's undead. And also like nature or spirit, because they're a spirit. He's now a spirit, the Forsaken Forest Spirit. And nature, because like he is a nature champion, a nature being. Like for example, I believe Grover, his race is nature. Like I think Grover symbolizes nature, and Banjo also kind of, so also nature and spirit. His direction is nature protector. Other nature protectors are, I believe, Inara, Makoa, Willow, Grog, and Grover. Yeah. His home place was the Enchanted Forest, which I already said. And yeah, this is his background story and lore stuff. Now onto his stats and abilities. So first off, Banjo is a support champion, and He has a base health of 2300 HP. This is as much as Grover. And so he has the highest HP number with Grover among the support champions. He has a base movement speed of 375. This is as much as, for example, Io or Ray. Okay, now onto his abilities. His weapon is called Wooden Boomerang. Wooden Boomerang is just a primitive wooden boomerang just made from some wood, and it's now overgrown by plants and leaves and nature, basically. So it fits very well. It would fit very well to his design, to his look. This wooden boomerang is a bit of a special weapon. In general, it has 7 ammo and an attacking speed of 0.5 seconds, and every shot deals 400 damage. This weapon has no damage fall off and a range of 150 units. So the special thing about this weapon is it's a boomerang, and everyone who knows what a boomerang is knows that when you throw a boomerang, it normally should come back to you. That's the same with this weapon. So basically Banjo throws out this boomerang, and when you hit an enemy, the boomerang just goes through the enemy. And when the maximum range of 150 units is reached, the boomerang turns around and flies back to you, flies back to Banjo, and Banjo catches the boomerang again. It doesn't even matter if there's an obstacle in the way, because if the boomerang hits an obstacle, it just gets invisible and it flies through the obstacle just back to you. And what I mean by invisible is just imagine Grog's Ghost Walk. This kind of invisible, like this aura ghostly thing, and this also would fit to his design because, well, he's not alive anymore. He's a spirit, ghostly a bit, and that's why his boomerang is also able to get invisible and ghostly aura stuff. And so I said this weapon has 7 ammo, but it has 7 ammo, but you do not have to reload. Like in the time where you throw out your boomerangs, you constantly throw out boomerangs and you constantly get back your boomerang, so you don't have to reload. And if you somehow would manage to get your ammo to 0, which I don't believe would be possible, you just would wait till you get your boomerangs back, so you have no reload animation or in general a reload. Okay, now to his alternate fire on the right mouse button, which is called Reinforcing Leaves. The description of Reinforcing Leaves is: boost a teammate's heal he receives from every source in the game by 25% for 5 seconds. It has a cooldown of 6 seconds and it has no range limitation. The cooldown also starts as soon as the ability is used. So for this ability, just imagine a Damba's right click. It would look like the same. The core of this ability, from the design perspective, would be a bit blurred green core, and around it there would be some floating leaves. And this ability works exactly the same as Damba's right click. So you have to aim with this ability. There's no auto aim on it, and you basically right click and this ability flies to your crosshair's target, and if it's on an enemy, on the teammate, it boosts the heal he receives from every source in the game by 25% for 5 seconds. So it doesn't matter if it is your own heal, life rip, a kill to heal, the heal from another teammate, etc. Just boosts everything by 25%. And his first ability on the Q button is called Sound of the Forest. This is his main heal ability. The description is: heal everyone except for yourself on the battlefield for 600 HP in one large burst. Has a cooldown of 10 seconds and obviously no range limitation because it's for everyone in the battlefield. It's basically a Grover heal but without the radius, right? Because Grover has this radius around himself, and this just heals everyone on the field. For the animation, it would be like he basically would smash his right fist onto his left flat hand, and on the impact of his hands there would be this sound, and this would basically heal everyone who's alive except for yourself. Okay, this was his main heal ability. And now onto his second ability on the F button, which is called Flaming Boomerangs. The description is: automatically gain all your boomerangs back and inflame them. Hitting an enemy burns them for 2 seconds. This fire deals 75 damage per second. It has a cooldown of 12 seconds, and the cooldown starts as soon as you press the F button for PC players now. And yeah, so the stream has no mobility ability. Yeah, this basically just more damage that you can fight like flanks. Okay, his ultimate is called Force Vengeance. The description is: inflict the power of nature into the floor beneath you. Send forth the power of the nature on the ground in a square-shaped form that deals 200 damage and roots all enemies for 2 seconds hit by this ability. Allies hit by this ability are immediately healed for 1400 health points and are receiving healing over time while standing in the radius of Force Vengeance. In fact, they are healed for 120 HP every 1 second while standing in the radius of Force Vengeance. It has a range of 75 units. So this is a bit of a more complex ult. Not too complex, but in this kit a bit more complex. So just imagine Rom's ult. Rom storms the ground and sends forth this stun thing. From the idea, this ability is the same, just does different things. Banjo smashes onto the floor or onto the ground, and on the point where he smashes onto the ground with his fist, the power of the nature goes forth, because Banjo carries around this entire forest power, and he inflicts this into the ground, and he sends forth this power from the animation, like Rom. Okay. Every enemy who's hit by this ability gets 200 damage and is rooted for 2 seconds, maybe a bit longer. I can't playtest all those numbers, could be too strong or too weak. In this case, maybe too weak. And every teammate who is hit by this ability is immediately healed for 1400 HP. And after, when you have ulted, there's this field. This nature field, and it exists for I believe what I thought is 8 seconds, and in this 8 seconds everyone from the team can step onto this field, onto the radius of this field, and is healed for 120 HP every 1 second. And yeah, this is basically the ability, and that has a range of 75 units. I believe this is half the range of Rom's ult. And it's a square-shaped form, so not the cone that Rom has with his ult. Okay, so this was the ult of Banjo. And now onto his talents. His first talent, which you unlock at level 0, is called Life Giver. And what it does is heal all your allies for an additional 200 HP over 2 seconds after using Sound of the Forest. That's basically the same as Grover's Rampant Blooming. Just for you to imagine it. And Banjo's second talent, which you unlock at level 2, is called Spirit's Root. And what it does is, using Sound of the Forest, roots all enemies in a 50 unit radius for 1.5 seconds. So this is basically the damage or CC talent for Banjo. Just use your Q ability, and all enemies that are in a 50 units radius around you are stunned for, are rooted for 1.5 seconds. Okay, and his last talent, his last talent, which you unlock at level 8, is called Nature Guides You. And what it does is, gain a second charge of reinforcing leaves, but reduce its effects to 20%. Yeah, pretty, just explains itself, I believe. About the cooldown, as soon as you use the first charge, the cooldown immediately starts. You don't have to wait for the second time you use it to let the first cooldown start. As soon as you use one of the charge, the cooldown of this charge starts. Okay, so these are his 3 talents, and now onto his cards. The order of the cards, like the categories for the abilities, is a bit mixed up, but I don't think this is a big problem. So yeah, let's start with the cards for Sound of the Forest. This is this healing ability. Heal yourself for 75, 150, 225, 300, 375 after using Sound of the Forest. So he does not heal himself with the ability itself, but with this card. Next card is grant all healed allies a movement speed buff of 20% for 0.75 seconds, 1.5 seconds, 2.25 seconds, 3 seconds, 3.75 seconds after using Sound of the Forest. Next card is reduce the cooldown of Sound of the Forest by 0.4, 0.8, 1.2, 1.6, and 2 seconds. And the last card could be very interesting in a certain situation with a certain comp or champions in your team. Generate 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 ammo for all your allies over 2 seconds after using Sound of the Forest. Next up are the cards for his Flaming Boomerangs. Gain a 25, 50, 75, 100, 125 HP shield after activating Flaming Boomerangs. It stays as long as it isn't destroyed, stackable up to 375 HP. So this shield stays as long as it isn't destroyed, and you can stack it up to 375 HP. So yeah. Okay, next card is increase your jump height while Flaming Boomerangs is active by 30%, 60%, 90%, 120%, 150%. And just what I forgot to say is Flaming Boomerangs is active as long as you haven't used like your 7 boomerangs. Like press F, you gain all your boomerangs back and you have your full 7. And when you have thrown out 7 boomerangs, the ability ends. Like it's just for those 7 boomerangs. Okay, so that's how long your jump height is increased when using this card, like and Flaming Boomerangs, the ability with this card. Next card is getting an elimination while Flaming Boomerangs is active reduces all your active cooldowns by 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%. And the last card for Flaming Boomerangs is increase your movement speed while Flaming Boomerangs is active by 6%, 12%, 18%, 24%, 30%. Okay, so that's where the cards for Flaming Boomerangs. Now onto his cards for his weapon and armor, or his general cards. Okay, the first card for weapon and armor or general cards is increase your ult charge rate by 7%, 14%, 21%, 28%, and 35%. This is the same card as Ceres has, but I believe Ceres is the older champion in the game right now with this card. So Banjo has also this card, just a more ult charge up to 35%. Okay, the next card is get a 8%, 16%, 24%, 32%, 40% increased movement speed for 3 seconds after getting an elimination in general. And the next card is gain a 50, 100, 150, 200, 250 HP shield after dropping below 30% health. This card has an internal cooldown of 35 seconds. And this shield on this ability does not stack with the shield of... it stacks with the shield of the one card from Flaming Boomerangs, but it does not add to this counter of the card from Flaming Boomerangs. And the last card for his weapon and armor, or like the general cards, is increase the flying distance of your boomerangs by 8%, 16%, 24%, 32%, and 40%. Okay, so those were the cards for armor and weapon. Weapon armor, or the general cards. And the last set of cards is for his reinforcing leaves. And the first card is heal your reinforcing leaves target for 45, 90, 135, 180, or 225 HP. The next card is reduce the cooldown of reinforcing leaves by 0.5, 1 second, 1.5, 2, or 2.5 seconds. The next card is increase your targets and your movement speed by 4%, 8%, 12%, 16%, 20% for 3 seconds. And the last card is increase the duration of the heal boost by 0.4, 0.8, 1.2, 1.6 or 2 seconds. So this covers all of Banjo's abilities and talents and cards. And yeah, write your opinion about this champion in the comments. I would look forward to this very much. And yes, thanks for watching. And yeah, see you in the next video. Hopefully the next champion concept. I have to look how quick I'm at finishing the next concept. But yeah, thanks for watching.